Hello everyone, welcome to Winners English. I brought an article from the Washington Post published on June 24th. The title is U.S. Initial Damage Reports. Iran nuclear program set back by months, not obliterated. Core components of Tehran's nuclear effort were damaged but not destroyed by U.S. airstrikes on three key facilities, according to three people familiar with the Defense Intelligence Agency initial assessments. An initial U.S. intelligence report assessed that airstrike ordered by President Donald Trump against Iran's nuclear facilities set Iran's program back by months, but did not eliminate it, contradicting claims by Trump and his top aides about the mission's success, according to three people familiar with the reports. The classified report by the Defense Intelligence Agency is based on Pentagon's early bomb damage assessment of the strikes on nuclear sites at Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan using earth-penetrating munitions carried by B-2 bombers and submarine-launched Tomahawk missiles. It assessed that the strike didn't destroy the core components of Iran's nuclear program and probably set it back by several months, not years, one of the people said. U.S. intelligence reports also indicate that Iran moved multiple batches of its highly enriched uranium out of the nuclear sites before the strike occurred, and that the uranium stockpiles were unaffected, said the person who, like others, spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss sensitive intelligence matter. A second person familiar with the initial DIA report, Lovell's low confidence in nature, said it concludes that some of Iran's centrifuges used to enrich uranium that could be used in a nuclear weapon remained intact. Trump has proclaimed repeatedly that U.S. bombing of Iranian nuclear enrichment facilities was an unmitigated success. The sites we hit in Iran were totally destroyed, and everyone knows it, he wrote in a social media post Monday. News of the classified intelligence report came on a day that a ceasefire between Israel and Iran, negotiated by Trump and the leaders of Qatar, was fragile and holding. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian both acknowledged the ceasefire and claimed victory in the 12 days war. Before the ceasefire, Iran had fired missiles at the huge U.S. airbase in Qatar in what it said was a retaliation for American strikes on its nuclear sites. No casualties were reported. The Defense Intelligence Agency assessment was first reported by CNN earlier Tuesday. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt pushed back on the report's conclusions while not denying its existence. This alleged assessment is flat out wrong and was classified as top secret but was still leaked to CNN by an anonymous low-level loser in the intelligence community, Leavitt wrote on X. The leaking of this alleged assessment is a clear attempt to demean President Trump and discredit the brave fighter pilots who conducted perfectly executed missions to obliterate Iran's nuclear program, she wrote. Everyone knows what happens when you drop 14 30,000-pound bombs perfectly on their targets. Total obliteration. Non-proliferation experts and weapon analysts have long said that it would be almost impossible to eliminate Iran's decades-old nuclear infrastructure bombing alone. Israel also targeted numerous parts of Iran's nuclear program, including facilities at Natanz and Isfahan in the strikes it began June 13. The Trump administration scheduled and then postponed Iran's briefings for House members on Tuesday. Representative Mike Quigley, the Illinois, a member of the House Intelligence Committee, told the Washington Post, "There is widespread belief in Congress that the embarrassing content of the assessments is the reason the Trump administration decided to delay the classified briefing. They don't believe briefings that have good news," Quigley said. Quigley declined to discuss the contents of a classified briefing he received earlier this week, but he said that for years he had been told by U.S. intelligence officials that any aerial attack on Iran's nuclear facilities would not have lasting impacts. "I've been briefed on the likelihood of how this would play out for years, and I was always told you have to finish the job with the troops on the ground," he said. "Nothing has changed my mind on that." The report by the DIA, an arm of the Pentagon, is almost certainly just one of the numerous ongoing U.S. intelligence assessments of damage from the American airstrikes. A senior administration official cautioned that barrel damage assessments are still incomplete and that other reports may draw different conclusions. The strike caused immense damage, and there is no way that Iran will be able to reconstitute its nuclear program anytime soon, the official said. The Fordow site, in particular, suffered a devastating blow and will not be usable for some time, the official said. Fordow is Iran's most deeply buried site, containing holes of fast spinning centrifuges that enrich uranium. The International Atomic Energy Agency said last month that Iran had more than 900 pounds of uranium enriched to 60% purity, nearly weapons grade. The fate of that stockpile is an urgent concern for the IAEA and Western governments in the aftermath of the US and Israel airstrikes. Another Pentagon intelligence assessment produced before Trump ordered the strikes scrutinized the possibility that uranium already may have been removed from the Fordow sites last week. The senior administration official said that report was speculative in nature, but left open the possibility that such a move had occurred. Previously published commercial Saturday imagery, which shows trucks line up at Fordow before the bombing, raised the same question. Senior U.S. administration officials have offered varying assessment on the impacts of the U.S. air and missile strikes, from celebrity to cautionary. Vice President J.D. Vance, in a Sunday interview on Meet the Press, said that Iran's nuclear program had been destroyed, but questioned further, he said he was not going getting to sensitive intelligence about what we've seen on the ground there in Iran. But we have seen a lot. I feel very confident that we've substantially delayed their development of nuclear weapons. Speaking on Fox News on Monday, Vance returned to her hotline. "Now, Iran's incapable of building a nuclear weapon with the equipment they have, because we destroyed," he said. "Even if Iran has uranium, it can no longer enrich it," he said, while raising the prospect of further U.S. military action. "We can destroy whatever nuclear capacity you build up." Israel has said it killed up a dozen of senior nuclear scientists during its airstrikes, but Iran has spent decades researching and producing nuclear materials that has a deep bench of experts. The International Atomic Energy Agency has estimated that components of Tehran's nuclear programs are spread across 30 sites, some acknowledged and subject to IAEA inspection, and some are not. The day before Israel's attacks started, Iran said it was building another underground centrifuge and storage facilities near Netanja, buried even deeper than the fallout site. An IAEA inspection scheduled for the next day was cancelled. That site is not known to have been struck by either Israel or the United States. The U.S. airstrike dubbed Operation Midnight Hammer marked the first combat deployment of the 30,000-pound massive ordnance penetrator, which is designed to burrow into and destroy hardened underground targets. While the attack may have been a tactical success in delaying Iran's nuclear developments and will provide the Pentagon with valuable lessons and data, it cuts both ways, revealing to Tehran and other adversaries what U.S. bunkbuster bomb can achieve, and crucially, where they may come up short. Iranian analysts and officials can study the blast effects and bomb remnants to determine how to better fortify future installations. Trump, before and after he ordered the strikes, called on Iran to negotiate a deal that would eliminate the country's ability to enrich uranium. Iran, a signatory to the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, has refused to give up its right to enrichment, which it claims is solely for peaceful purpose. Senator Mark Kelly, the Arizona, a member of the Senate's Intelligence Committee, said he spent 30 minutes reviewing the DIA report Tuesday afternoon in a sensitive compartment information facility. He declined to discuss it in detail, but said it did not support Trump's claim that Iran's nuclear facility have been obliterated. Still, he said, it is tough to know exactly how much damage those facilities sustained. It's one thing if it's a building above ground and you can tell if you knock the building down and you have a better chance of getting good imagery on it, Kelly told the reporters. Underground, it's really hard. Kelly said he found the report credible but cautioned that conclusion might still be adjusted. Assessment changed, Kelly said. They go a little bit this way, they go a little bit that way. Things happen. They get more information, they get more signal intelligence, they get more human intelligence and or more image of things, and they adjust it. That's what you would expect them to do. And I think you will see the same thing here. Alright, thank you so much for watching my video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.